Good afternoon, parents. This is Mary Keenly, principal of St. Teresa School, with our parent update for Thursday, March 11th, 2021. On everyone's minds right now, starting with the teachers, is spring break. Spring break will start a week from Friday, 1:30 pickup for the K through 8th graders, 1:45 pickup from the preschool. We are closing the building at 1:30 on this Friday, so there will be no afternoon step and no after-school activities on that day. Regarding spring break, as you know, we are recommending that everyone have a very safe COVID spring break. Stay home, make sure you wear your mask, keep yourself socially distanced so that we can keep stopping the spread of this horrible virus. We do know, however, that some of you have made the decision to travel with your families. So just a quick reminder, we've said it before, that if you travel, you do have to notify Mrs. Montre of the location and time frame of your travel by this Tuesday, March the 16th. Mrs. Montre will be going back and looking at the travel map on Wednesday, March the 17th, and notifying you of the status of your quarantine. You can do this yourself by looking at the map, but Mrs. Montre is going to be notifying you just so that everything is official. Please note that if you choose not to notify Mrs. Montre, you do not have access to remote learning should you have to quarantine. The only students who will be able to learn remotely because of quarantine after spring break or Easter are the ones that notify Mrs. Montre of the extent of their travel. If you are planning travel but have not confirmed any plans, please let Mrs. Montre know and let her know that you will confirm the plans before you leave. But please let us know what you're doing. This is not a new policy or a new procedure for the school. We hope that we never have to do this ever again. But as far as COVID is concerned, we do have to do this in order to keep our doors open and also to protect our teachers. Live streaming, remote learning is very, very taxing on the teachers, and they're pretty spent. We want to be sure that we give them the best opportunity to prepare and to handle it properly. And one of the ways to do this is by making sure we know who's going to be online after break. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to Mrs. Montre or reach out to me, and we'll walk you through it. To share with you a little bit about where we're at as of March 9th, this was the map on Tuesday. You can see that the country is turning yellow, but there are still key orange areas, not the least of which is Florida. I know a lot of you would like to go to Florida over break. We don't know when the map will be updated. This is the first time they haven't said when they're going to update it. So possibly it'll be next week, and between the vaccines and people's behaviors, maybe things will go even further yellow for us. But we'll see. This is just the City of Chicago travel order. It can be found online. So aside from COVID, we are running a school. So let's take a look at what else is going on and what the status of things are here in school. You remember last year as we were locking down for the first time and we were looking at the impact that the remote learning would have on our students, that we made you a promise that the students would not be up to par by August, but by April of 2021, which is coming up in a few weeks, that our students would be caught up at that time, would be on grade level by April 21st in their current grade. Using the current iReady scores, we can see where we're at in that process. At 0% of the school year, the fall, we were already at 20% at or above grade level in math and 50% at reading. At the winter testing that we did in early January, we were about 50% done with the school year. 61% of our students were at or above grade level in math and 71% in reading. Our spring testing, which will occur in May, will cover us about 90% of the school year completed. And we do look for those numbers to be up closer to the 100% range. What we are doing is looking specifically at those key factors that are helping our kids grow and catch up. The number one key is that we're here in person, and because of the choices that you made, we've been open and we haven't had to shut down at all, except for some little cohort shutdowns. In our instruction, we are also focusing on priority standards in the curriculum. We're not doing some of the extra learning that we had, but we're focusing in on those key difference makers in the kids' curriculum. We are using iReady to assess and measure progress, so it's not a guess, and nor is it a standardized test. But we are using the iReady to not only find out where the kids are, but then also adapt our instruction. Everything from regrouping and small group instruction to using some of the tools that iReady has in their pathways in order to reinforce learning. And finally, we have added some new resources to our arsenal here, not the least of which is our new ELA resources in grades 3 through 5. Another area that we are focusing on is our enrollment. And if you remember that we were on a more or less 5% growth pattern starting in 2016. You are aware that that growth pattern was interrupted, as you can see on this chart. We dropped in our enrollment, but we are very excited to tell you that due to the excellence of the experience this year and the diligence of our admissions office, we are currently recovered in our enrollment. Our current enrollment for next year is sitting at 398, and it will go up from there. So we are very excited to be breaking that 400 barrier, and what will our enrollment be in the fall? Who knows? 425, 450, we're not really sure at this point in time, but we know that we are in recovery mode. Our next goal will be at 412, which puts us back on that 5% track, going back to 2016, and continuing our growth mode as we head towards 500, which is full enrollment in kindergarten through 8th grade, plus the enrollment of the preschool. So we're very excited about this recovery and the growth of the school despite COVID. As we announced last week, we are currently seeking input on your child's placement for next year, and our goal is basically a great fit, that your child and the child's placement match as best as all possible. These will be due to me after spring break on April 2nd, and you can email them directly to my email address. Please remember, parents, in your placement request, you cannot request a specific teacher. There's a lot of reasons for this, but we don't know which teacher you want. We want to know about your child so that we can make the fit. Please tell us about your child and let us know how they learn, what their styles are, what their preferences are in their learning. Please also remember that just because you've had a teacher before, or maybe twice or 3 times before, does not guarantee that this child will have the same teacher. And that's why sometimes these letters are important, so that it helps us know what's going on and how your child learns. Please also know that we cannot guarantee placement with other students. If you want your child to be with another student, please suggest 2 or 3 other students who would be good fits. And ask their parents to make the same suggestion, because that helps us know that everybody's on the same place with these placements. Kind of a funny story, we have a family, their children are much older now, who specifically wrote me and said, please make sure that their children were never together because they were best of friends. And being together in class was just such a disruption for them. But let us know. The last day for comments again is Friday, April the 2nd. Placements will go home on May the 28th, and our moving up day will be on June the 2nd. Regarding STEP, the after-school program, we are also in re-enrollment at this point in time. Parents, particularly preschool parents, remember that enrollment in STEP is annual. You have to do it every year. So if you have not yet done so and you want your child to participate in STEP next year, please be sure you re-enroll now. These re-enrollments are due on March 26th, and we will be closing STEP to current students after March 26th. This is so that we can make the proper arrangements and we can address the new students coming into the school. To re-enroll, simply complete the enrollment form and either hand it in or email it back to Mrs. Fowler. If you have any questions, please contact Mrs. Fowler at her email address and she'll answer everything you need to know. But please, if you're anticipating using STEP next year, please go ahead and fill out that re-enrollment form, so that you're all set and you don't have to worry about it and you don't have to be scrambling for before or after care next year. One quick change that we are making in the calendar as we head to the end of the year is that we are going to have a day off on April the 26th. There's 2 reasons for this. One is it is going to be a faculty in-service day, so no student attendance on this day. And we want to break up this period of time between the time we get back from spring break and the next day off, which is Memorial Day. We just need to put a little gap in here so that the teachers and you can take a breath. So we are putting a day off on Monday, April the 26th. There will be no school for students. So please plan on providing care for your children, or maybe taking the day off yourself if you have time, and enjoying what we hope will be the beautiful spring weather on April 26th. So that wraps things up for me today. Don't forget that it is Daylight Savings Weekend this weekend. Don't forget to move those clocks ahead. This is the one most people don't like. We'll be a little darker in the morning, but a lot lighter in the afternoons when you come back to school next week. And also, as we end, the Feast of St. Joseph is rapidly approaching, and with all his attributes, his fidelity, the excellence with which he raised his child with his wife Mary, the excellence with which he did his professional work, we also know that he took COVID very seriously, because clearly they are also using hand sanitizer back in the days of Jesus. Have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I look forward to hearing all about your children and all about your travel plans for spring break. Have a great evening.